Doctors said I should have slowed down decades ago. But I'm 92, I still drive, and I've never been sick in 30 years. Not even a cold. And no, it's not because I'm lucky. It's because of 5 habits that changed everything. Some of them are so simple you'd think they couldn't possibly work. But they do. Here's what I do differently, and why you might want to start today. Every morning before my feet even touch the floor, I move. It's not exercise, it's not stretching. It's what I call a signal to my body. A message that today we move, we breathe, we live. I've done this since I was 62. A doctor once told me that the body ages fastest in the first 30 minutes after you wake up. Your blood is thicker, your joints are stiff, and your nervous system, it's still wiping the sleep from its eyes. But most people rush it. They swing out of bed, grab their phone, and jolt straight into the stress of the day. What I do is the opposite. I lie on my back and I begin with 3 deep breaths. I stretch my fingers, wiggle my toes, then slowly rotate my ankles and wrists. It takes 90 seconds, but it tells every joint, every tendon, every muscle, wake up. You're needed. It might sound silly, but this tiny ritual sends blood flow to my limbs, oxygen to my brain, and awareness to my movement. It reduces the chance of falls, calms my nervous system, and boosts circulation. Studies from the National Institute on Aging back this up. Older adults who engage in gentle morning mobility movements report higher levels of energy, mental clarity, and balance throughout the day. Still think it's too simple? Let me share what my mornings used to look like. At 60, I used to wake up stiff. I'd stumble to the bathroom, legs heavy, head foggy. Once I even tripped over my slippers because my feet didn't wake up in time. That's when I knew. If I didn't send a signal to my body, it would keep hitting snooze. Now, I don't skip it. I do it before my coffee, before I check the news. And if I forget, my body reminds me. What's powerful isn't the stretch. It's the habit. It's consistency that rewires the body, not intensity. The Mayo Clinic has published research showing that consistent, low-intensity mobility practice in the morning can reduce inflammation markers, support joint health, and even regulate blood pressure in older adults. That's not hype. That's science. And here's the thing. You don't need yoga. You don't need a mat. You don't even need to get out of bed. You just need 90 seconds and a message to your muscles. We're still in this together. So ask yourself, when's the last time you truly said good morning to your body? Because aging doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments like this, quiet, early, forgettable. And it's in those moments that you can begin again. Every single morning after I move, I drink something that's kept me from getting sick for over 30 years. It's not a supplement. It's not a pill. And it's definitely not some $50 powdered superfood from the internet. It's a warm glass of water with lemon, turmeric, and a pinch of black pepper. That's it. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This habit is a powerhouse. It's the first thing that enters my system every morning, and it's how I prime my immune system, lower inflammation, and jumpstart digestion before breakfast. Let's break it down. Lemon. Fresh lemon juice floods the body with vitamin C, a potent antioxidant that supports white blood cell production, the immune system's front line. According to the Linus Institute at Oregon State University, vitamin C doesn't just prevent illness. It helps shorten its duration, especially for older adults. It also kickstarts bile production in the liver, which supports healthy digestion and helps prevent the buildup of toxins. Ever wonder why digestion slows with age? Often, it's low stomach acid, and lemon helps fix that. Next comes turmeric, nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory root. It contains a compound called curcumin, which has been shown in hundreds of peer-reviewed studies to lower inflammatory markers in the body, markers that rise as we age and can lead to chronic diseases, joint pain, even cognitive decline. A study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that curcumin supplementation improved immune function in aging adults and reduced oxidative stress. But here's the trick. Black pepper isn't just for taste, it's the activator. It contains a compound called piperine, which increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Without it, turmeric barely enters the bloodstream. Together, these three ingredients form what I call my golden glass. It takes less than 5 minutes to make. Just heat a cup of water, not boiling, just warm enough to drink comfortably. Squeeze in half a lemon, add a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and a pinch of black pepper. Stir, sip, and let it do its work. I've had this drink nearly every morning for 3 decades, not because I read it online, because I felt the difference. When I started, I had sinus infections twice a year, achy joints every winter, always felt sluggish after breakfast. 2 weeks after starting this habit, my digestion improved. I wasn't bloated. My joints felt looser. I hadn't changed anything else. A few months later, I realized I hadn't been sick in almost a year. That was 30 years ago, and I've stuck with it since. Do I still get exposed to viruses? Sure. But my body doesn't roll out the red carpet for them anymore. It's awake. It's alert. It's prepared. This golden glass is more than a drink. It's a signal. Just like the movement ritual, it tells my body, we're on offense today. You don't need expensive supplements or complex protocols. You need small, consistent habits that whisper, I care about you. So tomorrow, before the toast pops or the eggs crack, pour yourself something golden, and as you sip, remember, you're not just drinking a beverage. You're making a declaration. I choose health, not by chance, but by choice. I don't walk for exercise. I walk for healing. Every day, rain or shine, I step outside and take a 15-minute anti-inflammatory walk. No headphones, no phone, just movement and breath. Most people underestimate walking. They see it as something you do when you can't run, as if it's the backup plan. But at 92, I can tell you, it's the foundation. When I was in my 60s, I used to jog, thought I needed to sweat to stay young. Then I read a study that changed my life. It said the simple act of walking, just walking, can reduce systemic inflammation, regulate blood sugar, boost memory, and even reduce your risk of death by 39%. That's when I stopped chasing sweat and started embracing rhythm. You see, walking isn't just about moving your body forward. It's about moving everything else back into place. Your joints, your lymphatic system, your nervous system, even your thoughts. And here's the key, I do it every day no matter what. I don't walk far. Sometimes it's just around the block. But I never miss it. Not because I'm disciplined, but because I've seen what happens when I don't. I become stiff. My joints ache. My thoughts get cloudy. My digestion slows. But when I walk, I'm a machine. My shoulders roll back. My knees stay flexible. My mood rises. And by the time I return, I feel like I've been reset. There's science behind this. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that just 20 minutes of walking reduced levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, in older adults. Another study from Stanford showed that walking boosts creativity and mental clarity more than any seated activity. But you want to know what really sold me? One morning, about 25 years ago, I skipped my walk. I was busy. I told myself I'd do it later, but the day got away from me, and for the first time in years, I felt old. Not tired, not sore, just old. Like the joints weren't mine. Like my lungs had forgotten how to stretch. That's when I knew walking wasn't optional, it was medicine. Now I treat my daily walk like a prescription. I put on shoes with good support. I start slow. I focus on my breath, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. I swing my arms gently to keep my posture open. And here's something you might not expect. I smile while I walk, not because I'm happy, because it makes me happy. That small act, smiling, activates your vagus nerve, a powerful part of the nervous system that regulates inflammation, heart rate, and even digestion. One study from psychosomatic medicine found that smiling, especially during movement, amplifies the anti-stress effects of physical activity. So I smile, I breathe, I walk, 15 minutes a day. And it's given me decades of strength. You don't need fancy gear. You don't need perfect weather. You don't even need energy. Walking gives it to you. Your body was built to move, and every step says, I still can. So, if you've been feeling stuck, tired, foggy, don't wait for motivation. Put on your shoes, open the door, and tell your body, let's begin again, because motion is life. There's one nutrient I never skip, not once in over 30 years. It's not a vitamin. It's not a magic mineral. It's something much more foundational. Protein. You see, when I turned 60, I thought I was eating well. Fruits, veggies, whole grains, even the occasional multivitamin. But I was still losing strength. My energy dipped by mid-morning. I started forgetting things. Names, where I left my keys, even whether I'd eaten lunch. I thought it was age. But my doctor said, no, you're just not getting enough protein. Turns out after 60, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing and using protein. That means you need more, not less, to maintain muscle, memory, immunity, and healing. And that's when I changed my breakfast. Completely. Instead of cereal or toast, I started eating what I call the brain and body breakfast. It's simple. 1 boiled egg, a cup of Greek yogurt, a handful of walnuts, and a few blueberries. Altogether, that's over 25 grams of high-quality protein, plus anti-inflammatories, healthy fats, and brain-boosting antioxidants. It doesn't just fill me, it fuels me. And here's why it matters so much. Protein isn't just for bodybuilders. It's for immune cells, which are literally made from amino acids. It's for enzymes that repair tissue. It's for neurotransmitters that keep your brain sharp. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 25-30 grams of protein per meal had significantly better muscle mass, fewer hospitalizations, and even longer lifespans. Another study from Tufts University showed that seniors with higher protein intake had stronger immune responses to illness and vaccines. It's not just about strength, it's about resilience. But not all proteins are created equal. That's why I focus on complete proteins, those that contain all 9 essential amino acids. Eggs, perfect score. Greek yogurt, complete protein plus calcium and probiotics. Walnuts, not complete, but packed with omega-3s and inflammation fighters. Blueberries, they're the antioxidant glue that pulls it all together. This breakfast doesn't just keep me full, it keeps me unshakable. And here's something I didn't expect. My blood sugar stabilized. I used to crash at 11 a.m. now. I glide through the morning like I'm 40 again. If I have meetings, long drives, appointments, it doesn't matter. I'm sharp, I'm steady. Because I started with what matters most. And no, it doesn't have to be complicated. Some days I'll switch it up. Cottage cheese with flax seeds, a small piece of grilled chicken on sprouted toast. Even a lentil scramble if I'm feeling fancy. But the rule stays the same. Never skip protein. Especially at breakfast. That's the moment your body decides how it's going to perform for the rest of the day. You wouldn't fuel a car with fumes, would you? So why do we do it to ourselves? A protein-rich breakfast isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. One you can start tomorrow, no matter your age, no matter your past. Because your body doesn't care how old you are. It cares how you feed it today. Here's something no doctor ever told me. Your mind gets sick before your body does. And if you want to stay young, truly young, you have to start there. Every single morning, before I speak to anyone, before I even check the weather, I do something I call mental tuning. It's not meditation, it's not therapy. It's just this. I sit still for 3 minutes, and I picture the kind of day I want to have. I don't imagine the traffic or the errands or the bills. I imagine how I want to feel. Calm, strong, steady, useful. And then I picture myself moving through the day in that state. confident behind the wheel, clear in conversation, at peace with whatever happens. This may sound small, but it's the most powerful thing I do. You see, your brain doesn't know the difference between something you imagine vividly and something that actually happens. That's not a motivational quote. That's neuroscience. Dr. Joe Dispenza and researchers at Harvard have shown in fMRI scans that when people vividly imagine doing an activity, the same areas of the brain fire as if they were doing it in real life. Over time, this rewires your nervous system. In other words, you can train your body to be calm, focused, and sharp before you even leave the house. Why does this matter? Because chronic stress is the #1 immune killer. Not germs, not genetics. Stress. It raises cortisol, which damages brain cells, weakens immunity, and even strips muscle. And seniors, we carry stress differently. It shows up in confusion, fatigue, and illness that seems to come out of nowhere. But when you take 3 minutes each morning to tune your mind, everything shifts. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I had a friend. Same age, same health background. But he was always stressed. News, politics, money. He lived in a constant state of fight or flight. And then one day he collapsed. Heart issue, no warning. He recovered, but things were never the same. He asked me, "How come you're never rattled? Don't you ever worry?" And I told him, "Worry is a thief." And every morning I lock the door. It starts with intention. It ends with resilience. And here's the best part. When you train your mind to be still, your body follows. Your blood pressure lowers. Your immune cells activate. Your memory sharpens. You even digest food better. A 2016 study from the University of Wisconsin-Madison found that just 5 minutes of daily mental rehearsal significantly reduced anxiety, improved focus, and boosted immune response in adults over 65. And the results lasted weeks. So yes, I walk, I eat protein, I drink my turmeric tonic. But none of it would matter without this, because your thoughts shape your hormones, and your hormones shape your health. You don't need to be a monk or a guru. You don't need candles or mantras. Just sit. Picture strength. Picture joy. Picture yourself behind the wheel, driving at 92, laughing at the traffic, never getting sick. And over time, you'll notice something strange. It becomes real. So now you know, it wasn't luck. It wasn't genetics. It wasn't some secret I kept hidden for decades. It was 5 simple choices, done daily, done consistently. 5 tiny habits that rewired my body and maybe even saved my life. And the truth is, you don't have to be 92 to start. You just have to start. The morning movement, the golden glass, the healing walk, the breakfast that builds, the mind that leads the body. They may look small, but they're mighty, because health doesn't vanish in an instant. It slips away in the things we skip, and it returns the same way, in quiet choices that build back strength, thought by thought, step by step, bite by bite. So if you're still wondering if it's too late, let me remind you, you're still here, you still can, and you're already on your way. But here's the thing I haven't told you yet. There's one more secret I didn't share. It's the thing I do every single night, after the habits, after the meals, after the walking and the thinking. Something that repairs my body while I sleep. And science says it might be the missing key to reversing aging itself. We'll talk about that next time. Studies show that less than 3% of adults over 70 consistently wake up feeling refreshed and mentally sharp. But what's behind this rare vitality? Is it genetics, routine, or something deeper science hasn't quite measured? Today, we're breaking down the secrets of the 1 in a million senior who still wakes up ready to live, and what it really means if that's you. You might think waking up refreshed in your 70s or 80s just means you slept well, but the truth runs deeper and more scientific than that. Researchers from the National Institute on Aging have found that seniors who consistently wake up feeling mentally sharp tend to experience more restorative, deep-phase sleep compared to their peers. Not just longer sleep, but better quality sleep. The kicker? Most adults over 70 don't even get close. According to a 2023 meta-study published in Sleep Health, nearly 68% of seniors suffer from mild to severe sleep fragmentation. That means their brain never fully dips into the deep restorative phases needed for hormonal repair, memory consolidation, and full-body cellular renewal. But here's where it gets really interesting. Those rare seniors, the 3% who rise with energy and clarity, often share a unique trait. They protect their circadian rhythm like it's gold. They wake up and sleep at the same time every day without exception. They avoid late-night screens. They expose themselves to natural light within the first hour of waking. And they often wind down using calming rituals, like gentle stretches or herbal teas, instead of overstimulating entertainment. And guess what? It works. A 2022 Harvard Medical School study revealed that seniors who maintained a consistent bedtime and wake-up time had 37% higher melatonin regulation and 44% better cognitive scores than those with erratic sleep patterns, even if both groups technically got the same number of hours. So if you're one of those few seniors still waking up clear-headed, your brain might be benefiting from something most people your age have lost: a clean, stable sleep cycle. And if you're not, don't worry. We're going to unpack exactly how to restore it in the next section, because waking up like this, it's not just luck. It's a signal, one that your body, your brain, and your future are still more adaptable than you think. Here's something most doctors won't tell you. The way you feel in the first 10 minutes after waking up might be a more accurate marker of your biological age than your birthday ever could be. Think about it. Do you rise with a steady heart rate, clear thoughts, flexible movement, or does your body feel like it needs a warm-up just to stand straight? According to a longitudinal study from the University of California, published in the Journals of Gerontology, seniors who reported high energy levels and clarity of mind within the first hour of waking were biologically 5 to 8 years younger on average, based on markers like telomere length, inflammatory cytokines, and glucose regulation. Let that sink in. Waking up strong and stable isn't just pleasant. It's a biological signal that your cells are still working like someone years younger than you. But here's where it gets even more powerful. That first burst of morning energy doesn't come from coffee or habit. It's built silently during the night. When your parasympathetic nervous system calms inflammation, your brain clears out metabolic waste through the glymphatic system, and your mitochondria recharge cellular energy like little power stations. If even one of these processes is disrupted, say by blood sugar imbalance, chronic stress, or poor breathing during sleep, you wake up feeling groggy, dizzy, or anxious. And unfortunately, the older we get, the easier it is for these systems to fall out of sync. So when a senior still wakes up refreshed, alert, and mobile, it's not just luck. It's an active sign that their systems are still coordinating like a well-tuned orchestra. Their cardiovascular rhythm, hormonal release, brain detox, and musculoskeletal recovery are all still talking to each other in harmony. This is why researchers are now urging older adults to pay close attention to their mornings, not just how they feel physically, but how they think, breathe, and move. Do you wake with a clear mind? Do your joints feel steady or stiff and hesitant? Is your breathing smooth or shallow? These are clues. And they're far more important than the number on a lab report, because, as it turns out, how you wake up may be the first warning, or the first celebration, of what your body's really doing beneath the surface. And if you're part of that rare group still waking up strong, you're not just surviving, you're showing signs of thriving. And that deserves not only recognition, but protection. In the next section, we'll explore the surprising internal habits, not products, that help these seniors keep their morning energy consistent. Some of them may sound too simple to matter, but science says otherwise. You've probably heard the usual tips for senior health: eat well, move more, sleep early. But what truly sets apart the 1 in a million senior who still wakes up energized and focused? It isn't fancy supplements. It's internal habits, small, often invisible rituals practiced with quiet consistency. Habit number 1, morning micro-movement. We're not talking about a 30-minute walk or gym routine. One of the most common habits among thriving seniors is something called micro-movement activation. It means gently waking up your nervous system within 15 minutes of rising, using simple actions like hand flexing, neck rolls, and ankle rotations. Why does this matter? A 2021 study in Frontiers in Physiology showed that seniors who performed even 3 to 5 minutes of light movement within 15 minutes of waking had significantly better blood oxygenation and reduced cortisol spikes, both linked to better energy and mental clarity throughout the day. This tiny ritual kickstarts your body's motor pathways, sends oxygen-rich blood to the brain, and stabilizes your balance before the day throws you off course. It's subtle, it's effective, and it's easy to miss if you think exercise has to be big to matter. Habit number 2, mental priming through future focus. Here's what researchers at Yale discovered. Seniors who actively visualize something meaningful they'll do during the day, even something small, are more likely to wake up with a sense of purpose and physiological alertness. This is known as intentional priming. It's the act of mentally preparing for something enjoyable, productive, or connective before the day even begins. Not a to-do list, a why-to list. Those who do this regularly show lower rates of depression, better memory recall, and even enhanced immunity, according to the Journal of Psychological Aging. So when you wake up and think, "Today I'll call my granddaughter," or "I'm going to finish that crossword," you're doing far more than planning. You're activating neurotransmitters that tell your body, "We have a reason to get moving." Habit number 3, early morning hydration, the right way. Most people think they hydrate enough. But did you know your brain shrinks slightly overnight due to dehydration? The sharp seniors don't just drink water in the morning, they hydrate strategically. They add a pinch of Himalayan salt or a squeeze of lemon to a glass of warm water. This isn't trendiness. It's biology. According to Dr. Dana Cohen, author of Quench, this kind of structured hydration supports electrolyte balance, enhances cell absorption, and restores intercellular energy transmission, a process often diminished with age. So while most people over 70 start their day sluggish and stiff, these seniors are resetting their brain-body connection before breakfast. And the best part? These habits don't require youth. They require intention, quiet commitment, and a willingness to tune in before the world gets loud. If you're still waking up with energy at your age, chances are you're already doing one or more of these, even without knowing it. And if not, it's never too late to start. It might surprise you, but some of the sharpest, most energetic seniors over 70 aren't physically stronger than their peers. They don't necessarily eat better or move more, but what they do have, without fail, is a mental operating system that protects them from premature aging. According to a landmark study by the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center at Columbia University, seniors who held positive beliefs about aging had significantly slower rates of cognitive decline, even when adjusted for health conditions and lifestyle. In fact, the difference in brain aging between seniors with optimistic versus pessimistic aging beliefs was equivalent to 7.5 years of cognitive function. Let that sink in. How you think about aging can shape how you live through it. But what exactly are these beliefs? Thriving seniors don't deny aging. They don't pretend they're still 45. What they do instead is reframe decline as adaptation. They see limitations as chances to innovate, not surrender. When they wake up feeling a bit slower, they don't spiral into frustration. They adjust, adapt, and move forward. This kind of mental flexibility is what neurologists now refer to as psychological elasticity, the brain's ability to shift gears emotionally and cognitively without getting stuck in patterns of fear, regret, or resignation. In everyday life, it looks like this. Instead of saying, "I can't do that anymore," they ask, How can I do a version of this differently? Instead of mourning every change, they honor the fact that they're still here to experience it at all. Instead of isolating themselves when energy dips, they lean into connection, even in small doses. Dr. Ellen Langer, often called the mother of mindfulness, found that older adults who were treated as if they were younger or who simply believed they were still capable showed physical improvements in vision, memory, posture, and even joint flexibility. Her groundbreaking counterclockwise study shocked the scientific community and proved what energized seniors already live by. The story you tell yourself about aging becomes your biology. And here's another trait the 1 in a million seniors share. They engage their brains with deliberate novelty. They try new recipes. They read books outside their comfort zone. They learn small tech tricks. These moments of novel discomfort create fresh synaptic connections and stimulate BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that protects against cognitive decline and boosts mood. So while others retreat into mental repetition and outdated identities, these high-energy seniors remain mentally awake, curious, humble enough to keep learning, bold enough to question the idea that aging equals fading. If you wake up with clarity and intention even in your 70s or 80s, you are not typical. You are proof that the aging brain is still powerful. And that mindset, that curiosity, it might be your greatest longevity tool of all. Next, we'll explore the physical warning signs that often predict a sudden energy crash in seniors, and how to catch them before they spiral into something more serious. Waking up tired every now and then? That's normal. But when the exhaustion is chronic, when it starts creeping in even after 8 hours of sleep, when it feels like your bones are heavy or your thoughts are stuck in glue, that's not aging. That's a signal, and it's one too many seniors miss. According to the Mayo Clinic, persistent morning fatigue in seniors is often the first sign of a larger issue, one that's quietly developing before any diagnosis appears. Here are 3 red flags that deserve your full attention. You wake up with brain fog that lasts longer than 30 minutes. It's common to feel groggy for a few minutes, but if your thinking stays sluggish, you lose words mid-sentence, or you're forgetting what you just read, it could be an early sign of cognitive inflammation. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic show this type of low-grade brain fog is often linked to poor blood sugar regulation, sleep apnea, or early neurodegeneration, even when you're still high-functioning. What makes it dangerous is how slowly it worsens. One day it's a missed word, then it's a missed appointment, then you forget why you walked into the room. Catch it early and you can reverse it. But wait too long and it becomes the new normal. You feel unsteady or lightheaded getting out of bed. This isn't just getting older. Sudden morning dizziness or leg weakness is a major red flag for orthostatic hypotension, which is a sharp drop in blood pressure when you change positions. It affects 10 to 30% of adults over 70 and increases your fall risk dramatically. Falls remain the leading cause of fatal injury in seniors, according to the CDC. But here's the good news. Many falls are predictable. Morning instability is often your body's first cry for help. Whether it's dehydration, heart rhythm irregularities, or medication side effects, identifying this early can literally save your life. You wake up anxious for no reason. This may seem like an emotional problem, but it's often physical. Nighttime cortisol spikes or sleep-disordered breathing can leave your body in a low-grade panic state by sunrise. A 2022 study in the Lancet Healthy Longevity found that seniors who woke up regularly feeling anxious, without emotional triggers, were more likely to have undiagnosed respiratory imbalances or cardiovascular issues. That quiet panic you feel? It's not all in your head. It might be your heart, your lungs, or your nervous system crying out for regulation. But here's the empowering part. The energized, thriving seniors, they don't ignore these signs. They track them. They write down unusual sleep patterns, monitor morning mood, and bring those details to their doctor before the body becomes symptomatic. That's not paranoia, that's wisdom. And if you're waking up tired, unbalanced, or anxious, even just a few times a week, consider this a friendly warning. Don't normalize it, investigate it, because aging might be inevitable, but crashing is not. In the next section, we'll reveal the daily schedule tweaks that 1 in a million seniors use to stabilize their mornings and build a steady, energized rhythm. No medication or extreme routines required. The truth is, seniors who wake up consistently energized aren't following rigid routines or chasing fad health hacks. What they've done, either by intention or intuition, is craft a daily rhythm that supports their body's natural cycles, not fights them. It's not about perfection. It's about predictability. And if your mornings feel off balance, these daily tweaks could change everything. Wake up time, the 90-minute rule. Most seniors who thrive don't sleep longer. They sleep smarter. Neuroscientists at Stanford discovered that adults over 65 who consistently wake within a 90-minute range each day have better cortisol regulation and lower systemic inflammation. This small anchor, rising between, say, 6:30 and 8 every morning, trains the body to trust its own rhythm again. Erratic wake-up times throw off hormone release, blood pressure, and digestion, making mornings feel like a crash landing. But with consistency, your body adjusts, anticipates, and performs better with less effort. First hour, the anchor ritual. One of the most overlooked habits of high-functioning seniors is how they spend their first hour. It's not rushed. It's not mindless. It's anchored. Psychologists call this a first-hour frame, a short, repeated set of actions that stabilize mood, posture, breathing, and awareness. This might look like sitting by the window with a warm drink, journaling, 3 things you're looking forward to, doing 1 mindful stretch or posture reset, listening to calming music or nature sounds. A 2020 study in mindfulness and aging found that seniors who practiced a simple morning ritual experienced 24% less emotional volatility throughout the day and had more stable blood sugar levels, even without changing their diet. Meal timing, the 90-minute refuel. Many energized seniors eat their first meal within 90 minutes of waking, even if it's just something light. Why? Because early nourishment stabilizes blood sugar, supports adrenal recovery, and reactivates the digestive system, which often slows with age. Skipping breakfast, or delaying it too long, can trigger a cascade of hormonal imbalances. The body senses starvation, cortisol rises, and the energy dip deepens. Seniors who maintain stable energy often lean into protein-rich breakfasts, eggs, yogurt, nut butters, oats with seeds. These aren't trends, they're fuel. Micro tip, the 5-minute forecast. Before diving into the day, many thriving seniors review their mental forecast, not just what's on the schedule, but how they expect to feel. Will today be physically easy or demanding? Is there something emotionally heavy to process? They set intentions with kindness, not pressure. And that mental check-in lowers anxiety, boosts decision-making, and increases follow-through, according to research from the Journal of Positive Aging. You don't need a 20-step routine. You don't need supplements that cost a fortune. But you do need consistency. And the seniors who wake up like champions? They've simply mastered the art of small habits, done on time, every time. In the next section, we'll uncover a surprising truth. Many seniors with high energy have one hidden trait in common, and it has nothing to do with health, exercise, or even sleep. In fact, it's something that almost nobody talks about, but it might be the most powerful secret of all. You've seen the patterns by now: better sleep, morning rituals, hydration, mental focus. But when researchers asked one final question, what's the common denominator among seniors who still wake up feeling alive, energized, and ready? The answer wasn't a supplement, a diet, or even a mindset. It was emotional engagement. According to a 2022 study in the Journal of Aging and Health, seniors who reported the highest consistent energy levels weren't just healthier, They were more emotionally connected to someone or something outside themselves. In other words, they had a reason to get up, a reason to care, a reason to still matter. This is the secret almost no one talks about. Purpose is energy, not metaphorically, physiologically. When you feel emotionally invested in something, whether it's a pet, a grandchild, a volunteer role, a creative hobby, or even a favorite show you're following, your body responds as if it's preparing you for action. It boosts dopamine. It modulates cortisol. It increases heart rate variability, a key marker of healthy aging. Dr. Laura Carstensen at Stanford Center on Longevity calls this emotional vitality, and it turns out it's as important to aging well as blood pressure or cholesterol. What's even more fascinating, this purpose doesn't need to be grand. The seniors who thrive often hold on to tiny reasons: planting a tomato garden, baking for the neighbor, calling a cousin every Tuesday, checking the news at 6 a.m. These aren't routines, they're emotional anchors. And when those anchors are gone, when the dog passes away, when the grandkids stop visiting, when the spouse is no longer in the next room, energy often collapses, even if the body is still strong. That's why many 1 in a million seniors create new anchors, even in their 70s, 80s, or 90s. They adopt rescue cats. They join virtual book clubs. They write letters to strangers through senior pen pal programs. They paint again after 40 years. They don't let the world shrink without a fight, because they know the moment you stop feeling emotionally plugged in is the moment your body starts running on backup power. So if you're still waking up with energy, check in. What's pulling you forward? And if you don't have something right now, it's okay. But know this: you're allowed to go find it again, not because you need something to fill your time, but because you still matter. And energy follows meaning. In our final segment, we'll bring everything together, not with a goodbye, but with a challenge, a single question that might change the way you wake up tomorrow and every day after that. So now you know. Waking up with clarity and energy after 70 isn't common. It's extraordinary. But it's not magic. It's not luck. It's the quiet reward of consistency, adaptation, and emotional connection. The real question isn't whether it's possible. It's this: when you open your eyes tomorrow, what will pull you forward? Not what you have to do, but what you want to lean into. Not what the world expects, but what still lights a small spark inside you. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a mission you haven't spoken aloud in years. Because that tiny pull, that silent reason, that's where your power lives. So before tomorrow arrives, ask yourself just once, what's the reason I want to rise, not just wake up? Don't answer it yet. Just sit with it and let your body feel the difference between existing and truly being alive. Most people over 70 are skipping the one thing that could help them live past 90, and it only takes 5 minutes every morning. If you think you're too old to start now, think again, because the body is still listening. For many people, the first thing they reach for in the morning is a coffee cup. But what if I told you the real fountain of youth sits quietly on your kitchen counter, and you've been ignoring it? Drinking water within the first 10 minutes of waking up isn't just healthy. It's one of the most powerful longevity tools science has uncovered. And for seniors, it can literally be life-extending. Why? Because when you sleep, your body enters a state of deep dehydration. Your cells are starved for fluid. Your brain is operating with less hydraulic support, and your blood becomes thicker, raising your risk of blood pressure spikes, fatigue, and even heart events first thing in the morning. A 2022 study published in the journal eBiomedicine, part of the Lancet Discovery Science, found that adults with higher serum sodium levels, a marker of dehydration, were more likely to age faster, develop chronic diseases earlier, and die younger. Even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% loss in body water, can impair cognition and physical function. This is even more dangerous after 70, when your thirst response weakens and kidney function changes how your body retains fluids. But here's where it gets interesting. Simply drinking 12 to 16 ounces of water immediately upon waking, before your coffee, your medications, even your breakfast, can rehydrate every organ in your body, boost your metabolism by up to 30% for the next hour, and even protect your heart. A study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that drinking 500 ml of water increased metabolic rate by 24% within 10 minutes, lasting up to an hour. That's a massive energy boost, without needing a walk, a pill, or a green smoothie. But this habit isn't just about hydration, it's about intention. This 5-minute act says, I am still in control of my health. My body is still worth caring for. And today, I choose to keep living, not just surviving. So, make it a ritual. Place a glass on your nightstand tonight. Let it be the first thing you see in the morning. Add a squeeze of lemon for added antioxidants and digestion support. And remind yourself, this is not just a drink. This is a declaration. If you're still with us, and this first habit opened your eyes, comment, hydrate to 90 below. Your body might be aging, but your choices still carry power. And this one is a game changer. If your body feels stiff in the morning, tight knees, sore hips, or that slow shuffle to the bathroom, you're not alone. But here's the truth most people don't know. That first 3-minute window after waking is when your body is most open to change. Your joints have been still for hours, your circulation is slow, and your muscles are cold. But moving, gently, intentionally, during this fragile moment sends a signal. I am still alive. I am still capable. A landmark study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults who performed light morning stretches and mobility movements daily had a 35% lower risk of falls, fractures, and long-term immobility. Even more astonishing? Just 3 minutes of movement can improve blood flow to the brain and lower inflammation markers that contribute to aging. Think of it this way. When you skip movement in the morning, your muscles stay contracted, your joints stay locked. You carry that tension all day, and over time, it builds into stiffness, pain, or worse, fear of movement. But you don't need to do yoga or go for a jog. Start with what we call the longevity flow. Neck rolls. Slowly turn your head side to side, then up and down. Shoulder circles. Roll your shoulders forward and back. Arm raises. Raise your arms above your head and breathe deeply. Seated marches. Sit at the edge of your bed and gently lift each knee. Ankle rolls. Roll each foot in circles to stimulate circulation. All of this takes less than 3 minutes. You can do it sitting down, and the science backs its power. In fact, a study from Harvard Health Publishing reports that daily low-intensity movement in the morning can lower blood pressure, improve digestion, and reduce depression symptoms, all major contributors to quality of life after 70. But perhaps the greatest benefit of all? Confidence. That simple act of moving, of proving to yourself that you still can, reminds you that age is not a stop sign. It's a signal to be smarter, not slower. And don't underestimate the mental power of this habit. Movement activates the vestibular system, your brain's balance and alertness center. Within minutes, you feel sharper, more awake, more alive. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up the phone, before you turn on the TV, move. Start with 3 minutes. Your muscles will thank you. Your brain will reward you. And your future self, they'll be proud. If you're still watching, comment morning motion below to let me know you're ready to take back your mornings and your strength. Most people over 70 wake up and go straight into doing mode. Check the clock. Think about pills. Turn on the news. But in that rush, they skip something vital. The breath. Not just the shallow breath of waking, but the conscious breath. The kind that signals your heart, your brain, and your nervous system that you are safe, you are present, and you are in control. Here's what the research shows. Just 90 seconds of deep breathing in the morning can lower your cortisol levels, reduce blood pressure, and even improve memory retention in older adults. A study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that daily slow breathing exercises improved cognitive function and emotional regulation in people over 65. And another from Harvard Medical School revealed that controlled breathing, just 6 breaths per minute, can strengthen the vagus nerve, responsible for regulating heartbeat, digestion, and stress resilience. This is not meditation, it's oxygen therapy, without the tank. Let me walk you through it. It takes 3 minutes, and here's how it works. The 4-2-6 breath technique. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat for 5-6 rounds or until your body feels calmer. You can do this sitting up in bed, by a window, or even outside. The key is consistency. Why is this so powerful? Because as we age, our oxygen efficiency declines. The lungs become less elastic. Our circulation slows, and the result is less oxygen reaching the brain. This leads to brain fog, anxiety, and even faster cognitive decline. But when you breathe intentionally, you supercharge your cells, improve focus, and stabilize your heart rate, all before lifting a finger. And here's the beautiful part. This breath becomes a bridge, a moment between sleep and the rest of your life, a space to set an intention. Today I move with peace. Today I give my body what it needs. Many centenarians, those who live past 100, share one common trait, a calm, centered way of approaching the day. This is how you build that inner stillness. One breath at a time. So tomorrow, don't just wake up. Come alive. Let your breath remind your body it's safe. Let it open space in your mind before the day begins. If you're still here and this habit inspired you, comment "Breathe for 90" below, because your next 30 years might just begin with your next 3 minutes. Before you reach for your phone, before you scroll through messages or flip on the TV, go to the window, because the first light you see each morning can either recharge your body or confuse it. And most seniors are unknowingly choosing the latter. Here's what the science says. Exposure to natural light within the first 30-60 minutes of waking is one of the most powerful things you can do for your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock that governs energy, metabolism, hormone release, and even how well you sleep at night. When you skip sunlight and go straight to screens, phones, tablets, or televisions, your body receives the wrong signals. Blue light from screens tells your brain, it's still night, suppressing melatonin and scrambling cortisol production. But when you expose your eyes to natural outdoor light, even for just 2 out of 5 minutes, your brain begins producing the hormones that wake you up gently, boost alertness, and align your body to the day ahead. A 2021 study published in Sleep Health found that older adults who received at least 20 minutes of natural morning light had significantly better sleep quality, mood stability, and cognitive performance throughout the day. Another study from Northwestern University showed that people exposed to early daylight not only slept better at night, but also had lower body mass index, BMI, a major marker of long-term health and longevity. This doesn't mean you need to go on a nature walk at sunrise. It means open your blinds, step outside for a few deep breaths, sit by a sunny window with your coffee. Let your eyes, not your screen, be the first thing to absorb light in the morning. Your retinas contain specialized cells that signal your brain's master clock, called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, to regulate hormone production, energy levels, and cellular repair. This one action helps sync your entire system, and for seniors, this is vital. Why? Because aging causes your internal clock to drift. You might wake earlier, feel tired too soon, or experience sleep fragmentation. But light is the reset button. It tells your body, it's morning. You're still in rhythm. You're still in tune with life. So tomorrow morning, don't just switch on the news. Switch on your body. Even a few minutes can lift mood, sharpen memory, and stabilize your energy throughout the day. And here's a bonus tip. If you can, combine this light habit with habit number 3, your deep breathing. Breathe deeply while absorbing light. This doubles the benefit and builds a sacred 5-minute morning ritual that rewires your health one cell at a time. If you're still watching, comment "light first" below. Let's remind ourselves that longevity doesn't start in a pharmacy. It starts at the window. Here's a question most people never ask when they wake up. What is still working in my life today? Not what hurts, what's missing, or what you forgot to do yesterday, but what's still beautiful, still breathing, still yours. And this shift in mindset, just 2 minutes each morning, could help you live longer. According to researchers at UC Davis and Harvard Medical School, seniors who actively practice gratitude journaling or reflection for even a few minutes per day experienced 23% lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, stronger immune responses, better sleep quality and emotional resilience, and even enhanced brain plasticity, the ability to adapt and grow new neural connections even after age 70. In simple terms, gratitude changes your brain chemistry, and your brain, in turn, influences your body. That's not just spiritual advice, it's neurobiology. When you spend just 2 minutes focusing on what you're thankful for, your warm bed, your steady heartbeat, a friend who called yesterday, your brain lights up in regions associated with reward, empathy, and motivation. You trigger a natural release of dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that reduce pain and increase joy. And here's something remarkable. The effect is compounding. Studies from the Greater Good Science Center found that seniors who practiced morning gratitude for 10 consecutive days were still experiencing mood and energy boosts up to a month later, even if they didn't keep journaling. So how do you start? Easy. Keep a small notebook by your bedside. Each morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for, or if writing is difficult, simply say them aloud. Think of it as your emotional vitamin, taken before the rest of the day begins. Here's what that might sound like. I'm grateful I can still walk to the window and feel the sun. I'm grateful for the memory of my spouse's laugh. I'm grateful that I woke up today with a purpose. You don't need a perfect life to feel thankful. In fact, the most powerful gratitude often arises when things aren't easy, but you choose to look for meaning anyway. Neuroscientist Dr. Alex Korb says it best. Gratitude forces you to shift attention from what's wrong to what's right, and that changes everything. So, tomorrow morning, before the noise of the world creeps in, pause, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what's still good? That one question can turn your entire day and your entire aging journey into something hopeful. If you're still here, comment "grateful to grow" below to let me know you're ready to rewire not just your habits, but your heart. You've just discovered 5 simple habits that can reshape the rest of your life. Not in decades, not in months, but in the next 5 minutes. Hydrating your cells, moving your body, breathing with intention, bathing in morning light, and finding one quiet thing to be grateful for. These aren't grand gestures. They're choices, gentle, consistent, powerful choices that whisper to your body, I'm still here and I'm not done yet. Because longevity isn't about counting the years you've lived. It's about the energy you bring into each new day. It's about waking up with purpose and proving to yourself that this chapter of life may be the most important one yet. The truth? Most people never change after 70. But you're not most people. You're still curious, still capable, still in the fight. So tomorrow morning, don't ask what the world expects of you. Ask instead, what can I do today that makes my next decade stronger than the last? Because somewhere out there, right now, there's someone your age who just made a different choice. They stayed in bed. They gave in to the stiffness. They forgot to breathe, to stretch, to be grateful. But not you, not today. You might think it's harmless, even necessary, to start your day with a hot cup of coffee. But if you're drinking it before eating anything, you could be accelerating aging in ways you never imagined. From spiking cortisol and wrecking digestion to silently inflaming your gut lining, this one morning habit might be taking a serious toll on your body, especially if you're over 60. In this video, we reveal the science-backed dangers of drinking coffee on an empty stomach and what to do instead to protect your energy, your hormones, and your health. You wake up groggy. Your hands reach for the same thing you've reached for every morning for years, that familiar, comforting cup of coffee. But here's what you don't see. Inside your body, a storm is already starting. When coffee hits your stomach before anything else, it doesn't just wake you up. It wakes up cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. And for seniors, this sudden cortisol surge can quietly wreak havoc on systems that are already more fragile with age. Elevated cortisol levels in the morning can spike your blood pressure, mess with your blood sugar, and increase inflammation throughout the body, all before you've even had a bite to eat. Now, let's talk about your gut. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach, your digestive system goes into defense mode. Coffee is acidic. It stimulates the production of stomach acid, hydrochloric acid, which is necessary for digestion, yes, but not when there's no food to digest. This excess acid can begin to irritate the stomach lining, leading to gastritis, bloating, and, over time, even ulcers. And it's not just the stomach that suffers. Researchers from the University of Bath found that drinking coffee before breakfast significantly impairs glucose metabolism in adults, especially those over 60. That means your body becomes less efficient at managing blood sugar, leading to energy crashes, fatigue, and weight gain. The very thing you thought was giving you a boost might actually be setting you up for a day of imbalance. But perhaps the most dangerous part? You don't feel it happening. There's no dramatic symptom, no instant pain, just a slow buildup of low-grade inflammation, the kind that scientists have linked to almost every age-related disease: arthritis, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and even cancer. This is what doctors now call inflammaging, the silent aging process driven by persistent chronic inflammation inside the body. And drinking coffee on an empty stomach is like throwing gasoline on that internal fire. You may feel more alert in the short term, but what's happening beneath the surface could be accelerating wrinkles, draining your energy, damaging your gut lining, and even weakening your immune system. So what's the alternative? We'll get to that. But first, let's explore what really happens to your brain, skin, and bones when this daily habit goes unchecked, because the consequences aren't just internal, they show up on the outside too. You might not associate your morning cup of coffee with sagging skin or brittle bones, but your body does. Let's start with the skin. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach and cortisol spikes early in the day, your body shifts into what scientists call a catabolic state. That means it starts breaking down tissue, including collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm, elastic, and youthful. Over time, high cortisol levels degrade collagen faster than your body can replace it, leading to thinner skin, more wrinkles, and that tired, drawn appearance that so many seniors attribute to just getting older. But in reality, it might be your morning routine working against you. And it doesn't stop there. Coffee, especially in large amounts or without food, also interferes with calcium absorption. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, caffeine can reduce calcium retention and increase calcium loss through the urine. For older adults, especially postmenopausal women, this can accelerate bone loss, weaken the skeletal structure, and increase the risk of fractures. So while your cup of coffee might feel like it's strengthening your day, it could be slowly weakening your bones. Then comes the brain, the one organ we all want to protect as we age. Coffee does provide short-term mental clarity, yes, but when consumed on an empty stomach, it causes spikes and crashes in adrenaline and blood sugar, which strain the brain over time. Studies from the University of California show that frequent cortisol spikes can actually shrink the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory formation. That's right, chronic exposure to high cortisol, especially in the early morning hours, has been linked to accelerated cognitive decline and even higher dementia risk in seniors. In essence, your body is being primed for stress. Your nervous system goes on high alert. Your insulin response becomes impaired. Your skin ages. Your bones thin. And your memory dulls. All because of a habit that's marketed as energizing and necessary, and yet there's a better way, one that still includes coffee but supports your body instead of fighting it. In the next section, we'll break down what happens when you pair your coffee with the right kind of breakfast, and how that one tweak could reverse the damage and bring back energy, focus, and better skin from the inside out. Let's be clear, coffee isn't the enemy. In fact, studies have shown that when consumed properly, coffee can be packed with antioxidants, improve focus, and even support longevity. The problem isn't the coffee. It's how and when it's consumed, especially for older adults whose bodies are more sensitive to hormonal fluctuations, inflammation, and nutrient depletion. So, how do you keep your beloved morning brew without letting it speed up the aging process? Step 1. Never drink it on an empty stomach. Before you take that first sip, make sure your body has something to buffer the acidity and cortisol response. A light breakfast, even something as simple as a banana with nut butter, Greek yogurt, or a slice of whole grain toast with avocado, is enough to stabilize your blood sugar and reduce the digestive stress caused by coffee. When you pair coffee with food, you're telling your body, it's safe, we're nourished, there's no emergency, and this simple shift helps reduce that morning cortisol spike that's been quietly wearing you down for years. Step 2. Add healthy fats or collagen to your coffee. MCT oil, grass-fed butter, or a scoop of collagen peptides can slow the absorption of caffeine, leading to a smoother, more sustained energy release, and less of the post-caffeine crash. Bonus, collagen directly supports your skin, joints, and gut lining, helping counteract the breakdown caused by elevated stress hormones. Step 3. Watch your caffeine dose. For most seniors, 1 cup, about 100 milliliters of caffeine, is more than enough. Going beyond that, especially without hydration or food, can lead to dehydration, anxiety, and sleep disturbances that continue the cycle of fatigue and inflammation. Step 4. Drink water first. When you wake up, your body is dehydrated. Jumping straight to a diuretic like coffee only worsens this. Drinking a glass of water first thing helps rehydrate your organs, kickstart your digestion, and cushion your body against the diuretic effect of caffeine. And finally, Step 5. Time it right. Most people drink coffee the moment they wake up, but studies show that waiting 60-90 minutes after waking allows your natural cortisol peak to settle, giving your body time to regulate before introducing an additional stimulant. You'll experience fewer jitters and a gentler energy boost, all without sacrificing your morning ritual. The bottom line? Coffee isn't harmful when it's respected. Treat it like a powerful medicine, one that can support you or stress you depending on how you use it. Now that you know how to protect your body while still enjoying coffee, let's go deeper. Because what you add next to your morning routine could dramatically influence how you age, feel, and function, even more than coffee itself. You've adjusted how you drink your coffee. That's a powerful start. But now it's time to take your mornings from just not harmful to actively healing. The right additions to your routine, right after waking up, can literally shift your body from a state of inflammation and fatigue into one of vitality, youthfulness, and clarity. Let's look at 3 science-backed habits that are simple to implement but carry massive anti-aging potential for seniors. 1. Lemon water with a pinch of sea salt. Before anything else, start your day with a glass of warm water, the juice of half a lemon, and a pinch of unrefined sea salt or Himalayan salt. This hydrates your cells after a long night's rest, replenishes trace minerals that are critical for nerve and muscle function, and supports healthy digestion. Lemon contains vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that helps repair cellular damage and supports collagen synthesis, which directly affects skin elasticity and joint health. The salt. It provides minerals like magnesium and potassium, which regulate hydration and keep your heart steady. This simple drink also gently wakes up the liver, helping your body flush out toxins that can accumulate overnight and accelerate aging from within. 2. A protein-rich mini breakfast. You don't need a huge meal, just enough protein to signal to your body that it's time to build, not break down. Think: 1 boiled egg, a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, a small protein smoothie, or even almond butter on toast. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that seniors who consume at least 20 grams of protein in the morning experience better muscle retention, mental clarity, and metabolism throughout the day. Protein curbs cortisol, stabilizes blood sugar, and gives your brain the amino acids it needs for sharper focus. It also helps your body recover from the internal wear and tear that naturally increases with age. 3. Gentle morning movement, just 3 to 5 minutes. Here's what most people don't realize. Blood flow is medicine. When you stretch, breathe, or take a short walk within 30 minutes of waking, you stimulate circulation to your brain, joints, and skin. This doesn't just boost energy, it delivers nutrients and removes cellular waste more efficiently, which slows down the cellular aging process. Even something as basic as reaching your arms overhead, rotating your spine gently, or doing a few standing leg lifts in your kitchen while your coffee brews can make a measurable difference. Gentle movement reduces stiffness, improves lymphatic drainage, and can elevate your mood for the rest of the day. And here is a bonus tip. If you want to supercharge your results, consider combining all 3. Hydrate first, eat a protein-rich snack, and stretch lightly while listening to calming music or stepping outside for a minute of sunshine. This stacks multiple anti-aging signals at once, and your body responds quickly. In the next section, we'll bring all of this together with the inspiring story of one senior who made just 2 simple changes and experienced a dramatic turnaround in energy, sleep, and mood within just weeks. Meet Linda, 72 years old, retired school teacher, grandmother of 4. For years, she couldn't figure out why she felt so drained by mid-morning. Her mornings always started the same. Wake up, pour a strong cup of black coffee, scroll through the news, and skip breakfast altogether. It was a routine she swore by for decades, but as she got older, that routine started turning on her. The fatigue got worse. Her hands began trembling slightly after her second cup. Her skin lost its glow. She had trouble sleeping, and her digestion, which used to be smooth, became unpredictable and uncomfortable. Her doctor said her labs looked normal, but she knew something was off. Then, during a casual lunch with a friend, she heard something that changed everything. "You're drinking coffee on an empty stomach? I used to do that. My nutritionist told me it was aging me inside out." That was the first time Linda had heard the connection. She was skeptical. After all, it was just coffee, right? But curiosity got the better of her. That night she started researching. The more she read, the more shocked she became. Cortisol spikes, gut lining damage, collagen loss, calcium depletion. Everything she had been feeling was right there in the studies. The morning coffee wasn't just harmless. It was likely at the root of her symptoms. So Linda made a decision. One small change. Instead of pouring coffee first thing, she began her mornings with a glass of lemon water and a few slow stretches near her window. Then she ate half a banana with a spoonful of peanut butter. Nothing big, just enough to settle her stomach. Only then did she enjoy her cup of coffee, this time with a splash of oat milk and a scoop of collagen powder. The result? Within 10 days, her digestion eased, Her energy stabilized, the trembling in her hands disappeared, and she began sleeping through the night again, something she hadn't done in over 5 years. One change, that's all it took. Linda didn't give up coffee. She just gave her body what it needed first. And that one act of kindness toward herself triggered a ripple effect. Clearer skin, brighter moods, sharper thinking. By the end of the month, her neighbors even started commenting on how well she looked. Her secret? A 90-second shift in her morning ritual. And the best part? She didn't spend a dime. No pills, no gimmicks. Just awareness, consistency, and respect for her body's natural rhythm. Now she swears by her new morning routine, and she tells everyone who will listen. It wasn't about giving something up, it was about giving myself a better start. In the next section, we'll connect the dots. Why aging faster isn't about one bad habit, but about tiny daily choices that either heal or harm, and how to stack the odds in your favor starting tomorrow morning. Aging isn't something that happens overnight. It's not one dramatic event or even a few bad years. It's a slow accumulation, a daily compound effect of the tiny choices we make without even realizing their impact. Think of your morning like the opening scene of a movie. It sets the tone for the entire day. If your body starts in a stressed, dehydrated, and inflamed state, with elevated cortisol, blood sugar spikes, and gut irritation, it's forced to play catch-up all day long. You feel more tired, more anxious, less sharp, and your cells are aging in the background, quietly but steadily. But shift the script, just slightly, and everything changes. A few sips of lemon water, a stretch, a light breakfast before coffee, a calm moment before turning on your phone. These micro-habits tell your body, you're safe, you're nourished, you're supported, and that one message can lower inflammation, improve hormone regulation, and shift your nervous system out of fight or flight and into repair and rejuvenate. That's how aging slows down. In fact, scientists now refer to this process as inflammaging, the gradual damage caused by chronic low-grade inflammation that builds up over time. But what's exciting is that inflammation isn't fixed. It's dynamic. It responds to your decisions, your food, your mindset, your morning routine. One study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that seniors who adopted 3 or more positive morning habits, such as hydration, light movement, and delayed caffeine, had up to 38% slower biological aging markers than those who started their day in a stressed state. That means your real age and your biological age can be different. And the good news? You get to decide which one wins. Here's the truth. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Small, doable, daily actions that send the right signals to your cells, over and over again. A few minutes of sunlight in the morning helps regulate sleep hormones. A tablespoon of protein slows cortisol and supports muscle repair. Swapping your first drink from coffee to water gives your organs the hydration they need to function optimally. These aren't trends. They're time-tested, research-backed choices that align your body with its natural healing rhythms. So yes, that one thing you've been doing every morning, coffee on an empty stomach, may have been working against you. But now you know better. And the moment you act on that knowledge, you flip the script. You're not aging faster, you're aging smarter. And in the final section, we'll share one last surprising insight, something most seniors never hear, about how your first 10 minutes after waking up can become the most powerful anti-aging tool you'll ever use. There's a moment every single morning when your body is more programmable, more responsive, and more vulnerable than at any other time in the day. It's the first 10 minutes after you wake up, and almost nobody talks about it. This is your body's biological reset window. Your cortisol is peaking. Your brain is transitioning from theta waves to full alertness. Your hormones are scanning your internal environment to decide, is today a threat or an opportunity to heal? In those 10 minutes, your nervous system is still impressionable. The signals you send it, through food, breath, movement, hydration, or even emotion create a biochemical ripple effect that sets the tone for everything that follows. If your first signal is stress, like scrolling bad news, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, or skipping food, your body takes that as a cue to guard, tighten, conserve. That means more inflammation, slower digestion, higher blood pressure, and faster cellular aging. But if your first signal is nourishment, calm, or care, like warm water, protein, sunlight, or even a kind thought, your body opens up. It releases tension. It balances hormones. It turns on healing and regeneration. And here's the kicker. The effects of that 10-minute choice echo throughout your day. A study in psychoneuroendocrinology found that individuals who experienced positive physiological inputs within 10-15 minutes of waking had better blood sugar regulation, lower cortisol throughout the day, and even higher melatonin production at night, which means deeper sleep and slower aging. Imagine that. 1 glass of lemon water, a stretch by the window, one kind meal before coffee. Not only does this cost nothing, it might be the most valuable anti-aging medicine you've never used. And now you know it exists. This is what most seniors never realize. You don't have to overhaul your life to reverse aging. You just have to take control of your first 10 minutes. That's where transformation begins. Not with pills, not with expensive therapies, but with tiny choices that stack up, silently, consistently, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you're aging in reverse. There's a reason some seniors stay active, sharp, and completely independent well into their 90s, while others begin to decline in their 60s. It's not just luck or genetics. It's about what you do every day. In this video, we reveal 10 surprising life hacks, backed by science and proven by real seniors, that can keep you living independently, safely, and joyfully for years to come. From brain-boosting routines to mobility tricks no one talks about, this is your guide to staying in control, starting now. Independence is something we often take for granted, until the moment it starts slipping away. For many seniors, that moment doesn't come with a dramatic fall or diagnosis. It begins quietly. You forget a doctor's appointment. You struggle to open a tight jar. You avoid stairs, not because you can't climb them, but because you're not sure if your knees will hold. And suddenly, the home that once felt safe becomes a place of quiet doubt. The truth is, the decline into dependency is rarely sudden. It happens one overlooked detail at a time. A dark hallway without a nightlight. A high shelf that requires just a little too much reach. A medication schedule that becomes harder to track. These aren't emergencies, yet. But left unaddressed, they build into a system of daily stressors that chip away at your confidence, your safety, and eventually, your freedom. Aging doesn't steal independence overnight, but habits, good or bad, compound over time. And while some believe the key to aging well is fancy supplements or expensive home modifications, the science tells a different story. In a 2021 study published in the Journal of Aging and Health, researchers found that seniors who implemented small daily lifestyle changes, like mobility-friendly routines or memory-supporting habits, saw a 37% reduction in fall risk and a significant improvement in self-reported independence levels within just 3 months. The key isn't in doing more, it's in doing things smarter. For example, how you sit and stand affects your balance long before you need a cane. The way you organize your kitchen can help your memory as much as brain games. Even the temperature of your morning shower can impact circulation, mood, and energy for the entire day. These aren't just tips, they're tools. Tools that allow you to stay in control of your body, your mind, and your surroundings. Let's be honest. No one wants to be told what they can't do anymore. That's why these hacks aren't about restrictions. They're about reclaiming control, giving you back the small wins that build into big victories over time. And most of all, they're about reminding you that you're not powerless in the face of aging. You've spent a lifetime adapting, raising families, building careers, surviving loss and change. This stage of life deserves the same resourcefulness, because living independently isn't just about getting through the day. It's about living with dignity, confidence, and joy. So now, let's get into the first life hack. It may seem almost too simple, but studies show it can reduce nighttime falls by nearly half, and you can implement it in under 60 seconds. It's one of the most overlooked habits in senior homes, yet it's responsible for nearly half of nighttime falls. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. You get out of bed to use the bathroom. The room is dark, your muscles are stiff, and your brain is still catching up from sleep. That's when it happens. The misstep, the stumble, the fall. According to the CDC, over 30% of seniors experience a fall every year, and the majority happen at night, right at home. But here's the part no one talks about. A simple motion sensor nightlight placed at ankle level can reduce that risk by up to 52%, according to a study published in Age and Aging. The reason? It's not just about vision. It's about how your brain and muscles coordinate in low light conditions. When the visual system can't clearly perceive depth or surface contrast, like at night, your balance system goes into overdrive, compensating through your joints and muscles. But if those muscles are stiff or your reflexes slowed, the brain's signal doesn't reach fast enough. One trip on the rug or a misplaced slipper and you're on the floor. But when the floor is lit, especially at the feet, the brain receives immediate visual cues that guide foot placement, enhance depth perception, and stabilize the entire movement chain from ankles to spine. Even better, it allows your body to avoid relying purely on guesswork during its most vulnerable hours. And it's not just seniors who are affected. Hospitals have begun installing these soft glow motion lights in patient rooms, especially in geriatric wards, to reduce post-surgery fall rates. Some studies even suggest that the light helps orient the brain upon waking, making seniors feel less dizzy or confused during midnight awakenings. But here's what makes it powerful. It takes under 60 seconds to install. Plug it into the outlet closest to your bed or bathroom. Choose one with a soft amber glow, not white or blue, which has been shown to minimize sleep disruption while still illuminating the floor safely. Some even come with dusk to dawn sensors, turning on automatically only when needed. This is what we mean by smart independence. Small shifts in your environment that protect your dignity, your safety, and your peace of mind, without taking away control. For many seniors, it starts with something small. You forget where you placed your keys. You miss a phone appointment. You walk into a room and can't remember why. It feels harmless, until it doesn't. Because memory loss isn't just a nuisance. It chips away at your confidence, your routine, your independence. And slowly it creates doubt. But what if there was a simple 3-minute habit proven to strengthen your memory, improve focus, and help you stay mentally sharp well into your 80s? It doesn't require medication, or brain games, or any fancy tech. It's something researchers call verbal episodic recall. And it works like this. Every morning, preferably while having your tea, brushing your hair, or standing at the kitchen sink, you say out loud 3 things: what you did yesterday, what you plan to do today, one thing you're looking forward to this week. That's it. Why does this work? In 2022, a study published in the journal Neuropsychology followed a group of adults aged 65 to 82 who practiced verbal recall exercises daily. After just 8 weeks, participants showed significantly improved working memory, faster mental recall, and reduced confusion during daily tasks. The science is simple. When you speak your thoughts out loud, you activate both memory retrieval and speech processing centers in the brain. That dual activation increases connectivity between the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory, and the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making and attention. Over time, this practice strengthens those pathways like a mental workout. And unlike crossword puzzles or digital apps that can become repetitive, this habit is personal. You're recalling your life, your goals, your future. There's also an emotional benefit. Studies show that anticipating a positive event, even something as simple as lunch with a friend or a sunny walk, releases dopamine, a brain chemical linked to motivation, alertness, and pleasure. This 3-minute habit not only boosts memory but gives your brain a reason to feel energized. And the best part? You don't need anyone else. You don't need pen and paper. You don't even need to get out of bed. Just speak. Speak your day into shape. It seems harmless enough. You sit on the couch to watch TV, read the paper, sip your tea. Hours pass, and before you know it, your back aches. Your knees feel stiff, and when you try to stand, your legs don't respond the way they used to. The real danger isn't the sitting itself, it's how you sit. One of the biggest culprits behind age-related weakness and falls isn't just inactivity, it's the habit of sitting with your hips lower than your knees. Think soft couches, deep armchairs, low recliners. That deep-seated comfort is a trap, literally. When your hips are positioned below your knees, your body slouches, your core disengages, and your quadriceps, the powerful muscles responsible for lifting you, start to weaken. Over time, even standing up becomes a struggle. According to a 2020 study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, seniors who sat in low-seat furniture for more than 2 hours a day showed a 32% greater risk of balance loss and nearly double the rate of mobility decline compared to those who used upright seating. It's the kind of detail no one notices until it's too late. So, what's the fix? Simple. Use chairs that keep your hips slightly higher than your knees. Add a firm cushion if needed. Choose seating that supports your back and allows you to push up using your arms. And if you find yourself sinking into the sofa for hours each day, set a timer. Every 45 minutes, stand up, even if just for a stretch or slow lap around the room. But here's something even more powerful. Practice what physical therapists call the sit-to-stand exercise. Once or twice a day, sit on a firm chair and slowly stand up, without using your hands. Then sit down again. Repeat 5 times. This one move strengthens your thighs, boosts circulation, and retrains your brain to coordinate safe standing. It's been shown to reduce fall risk by up to 48% in seniors who do it daily for just 2 weeks. You feel a little tired. Your joints ache more than usual. Your balance is off. Maybe you're forgetting small things, where you placed your keys, what time your appointment was. You chalk it up to aging. But what if all of that had one root cause? Dehydration. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 40% of older adults are chronically dehydrated, and most don't even know it. Why? Because as we age, the body loses its ability to signal thirst accurately. Add in common medications like diuretics or blood pressure pills, and your fluid loss increases, even if you're sipping water throughout the day. But here's the real danger. Mild dehydration in seniors can mimic early dementia, trigger dizziness, increase fall risk, and reduce kidney function. A 2020 study from Clinical Interventions in Aging found that seniors who were even slightly dehydrated performed 20% worse on memory tests, had slower reaction times, and were twice as likely to report fatigue or unsteadiness. And yet, most of this can be reversed with a single tweak. The trick isn't just to drink more water, it's to balance hydration with electrolytes, the minerals that help your body retain and use that water properly. That's where this life hack comes in. Every morning, before your first cup of coffee or tea, drink a small glass of water with a pinch of sea salt and a splash of lemon juice. The salt provides sodium and trace minerals that help your cells absorb water more effectively. The lemon supports digestion and adds potassium. It's a natural electrolyte tonic, and it works. For those on a low-sodium diet, consider adding coconut water instead, a natural electrolyte drink that hydrates without spiking blood pressure. You've used it for decades. It's in your salad dressings, your stir-fries, even your heart-healthy frozen dinners. But this one kitchen staple, once considered a harmless pantry essential, has now been linked to increased joint pain, inflammation, and even balance issues in older adults. We're talking about vegetable oil, not olive oil, not avocado oil, but the highly processed cheap oils labeled as canola, corn, soybean, sunflower, or vegetable blend. The problem isn't the oil itself, it's what it does inside your body. These oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in excess, can create an imbalance in your system that triggers chronic inflammation, the kind that settles deep into your joints, fogs your brain, and erodes muscle strength over time. In a 2018 review published in Frontiers in Nutrition, researchers found that the typical Western diet contains up to 25 times more omega-6 than omega-3 fatty acids, a ratio strongly associated with increased risk of arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and inflammatory muscle degeneration. Why does this matter for seniors? Because as we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass and joint cushioning. Add a pro-inflammatory diet on top of that, and you're fast-tracking the breakdown of tissues that keep you moving independently. What you thought was just old age could very well be your cooking oil, silently working against you. The solution is simple. Swap out inflammatory oils for anti-inflammatory alternatives like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, cold-pressed flaxseed oil. Not only do these oils reduce inflammation, but they also protect your arteries, nourish your joints, and support your brain. You don't see it coming. 1 minute you're reaching for a glass or turning around too fast, and the next you're on the floor. Falls are the #1 cause of serious injury in seniors. But what most people don't realize is that balance is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained, improved, and protected. And you don't need a gym or a workout plan. You need just 90 seconds a day. It's called the single leg stand, and it's one of the most trusted physical therapy tools for retraining your inner balance system. Here's how it works. Stand behind a sturdy chair or countertop. Hold it lightly for support. Lift one foot off the ground just an inch or two. Don't try to raise your knee high. Hold that position for 30 seconds. Switch legs. Then repeat once more on each side. That's it. Less than 2 minutes. Why is it so powerful? Because balance isn't just about your legs. It's a full-body coordination between your inner ear, eyes, brain, core, and lower limbs. The moment you lift one foot, your body begins sending signals from your ankle joints to your spine, to your cerebellum, your brain's balance center, and back down again. The more you practice, the faster and more efficient those signals become. In a study from the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, seniors who performed single-leg balance training for just 90 seconds a day over 4 weeks showed a 43% improvement in stability and significantly reduced their likelihood of falls, even without any other changes to their routine. But beyond the numbers, balance training restores confidence. In the small mountain town of Ojimi, Japan, where people routinely live past 100, there's a quiet morning ritual shared by nearly every household. Before coffee, before errands, even before breakfast. Many seniors there eat a spoonful of something pale, tangy, and often forgotten in Western kitchens. Fermented foods, specifically miso, pickled vegetables, or natto, a fermented soybean dish with a strong flavor and even stronger health benefits. At first glance, it might seem strange. What does fermented food have to do with memory, balance, or emotional health? But modern science is catching up with ancient wisdom. In 2021, researchers from Kyoto University published findings in the Journal of Nutritional Neuroscience showing that seniors who regularly consumed fermented foods had significantly better cognitive performance, reduced signs of anxiety, and improved sleep quality compared to those who didn't. Why? Because your brain and gut are in constant communication. This is called the gut-brain axis, a neural superhighway that connects the emotional and cognitive centers of your brain with the trillions of bacteria in your digestive system. These bacteria, known as the gut microbiome, play a direct role in producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, the very chemicals that affect memory, focus, and emotional stability. As we age, our microbiome diversity naturally declines. That can lead to inflammation, not just in the body but in the brain. It's one of the hidden reasons why memory slips and mood swings become more common after 60. Fermented foods replenish that diversity. They introduce beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, which restore gut balance, reduce inflammation, and even improve nutrient absorption. And the results aren't just academic. You don't need to eat anything exotic. In fact, just a tablespoon a day of any of the following can make a difference: unpasteurized sauerkraut, kimchi, plain kefir or yogurt with live cultures, miso paste dissolved in warm water, not boiling, tempeh or natto. The key is consistency. Want to double the effect? Pair your fermented food with a prebiotic like bananas, oats, or garlic to feed the good bacteria and help them thrive. Because true independence doesn't just come from strong legs and steady balance. It comes from a clear mind, stable emotions, and a sense of internal calm. And sometimes, the path to that clarity starts with a spoonful of something sour. We live in a world that glorifies movement. Do more, push harder, stay busy. But what if the most powerful thing you could do today was to do nothing at all? Not scrolling, not watching TV, not even reading, just being. This is what neuroscientists now call intentional stillness, and it may be the single most overlooked health tool for seniors seeking focus, energy, and emotional balance. In 2023, a study published in Nature Human Behavior revealed something astonishing. When adults over 60 practiced 5 minutes of mindful stillness each day, brain scans showed increased gray matter density in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory formation. Participants also reported better sleep, lower blood pressure, and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression within just 3 weeks. But this isn't meditation in the way most people think of it. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You don't have to clear your mind. In fact, you don't have to do anything right. The practice is simple. Each day, preferably in the morning or just before bed, sit in a quiet space. No phone, no distractions. Close your eyes if you'd like. Listen to your breath. Feel your heartbeat. Notice what thoughts come and go without chasing or judging them. This tiny act of stillness gives your nervous system permission to reset. In a world full of noise, it becomes a quiet rebellion. A gentle message to your body and brain that you are safe, supported, and present. Over time, this stillness begins to rewire the brain. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest, digestion, and healing. That means lower cortisol levels, more emotional resilience, better digestion, and even improved immune response. We rarely think about our feet until they start hurting, stiffening, or slipping out from under us. But your feet are more than just the end of your legs. They are the foundation of your entire balance system. And the older we get, the more crucial it becomes to keep them strong, awake, and connected to the ground beneath us. Here's the problem. Shoes, especially overly cushioned ones, disconnect us from the thousands of nerve endings in our soles. These nerves are designed to send feedback to the brain about pressure, surface texture, and alignment. But when they're smothered under thick soles all day, that feedback fades. That's why physical therapists now recommend something incredibly simple. Spend at least 5 minutes a day barefoot on natural, uneven, or slightly textured surfaces: grass, carpet, cork, a yoga mat. Even just standing still barefoot while brushing your teeth is enough to reactivate your proprioceptors, the tiny sensors that tell your brain where your feet are in space. In a clinical study published in Gait and Posture, seniors who walked barefoot on a textured surface for just 10 minutes a day over 4 weeks experienced noticeable improvements in balance, reduced fall risk, and increased ankle stability compared to those who remained in shoes. But it's not just about balance. Being barefoot also improves circulation. When your feet are free to move naturally, the plantar muscles stretch and contract, boosting blood flow to your toes, arches, and calves. This helps combat the swelling and heaviness that so many seniors feel after sitting or standing for long periods. A word of caution: if you have diabetes, severe neuropathy, or open wounds, always check with your doctor before going barefoot. And always make sure your surface is safe. No slippery tiles or sharp edges. In our modern world, we've patted ourselves away from nature. But your body remembers. And sometimes, simply reconnecting your bare feet with the ground can awaken muscles, nerves, and instincts that were never truly lost, just forgotten. In the hills of Okinawa, the islands of Sardinia, and the highlands of Costa Rica, there's a question elders ask themselves every morning, not out of obligation, but out of habit. And it goes like this: why do I wake up today? This isn't a metaphor. It's a psychological habit known in longevity research as ikigai in Japan, or plan de vida in Latin America, a reason for being, a personal purpose, even in small things. And it may be the most powerful secret to aging well. In a 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open, over 7,000 seniors were tracked over several years. Researchers found that individuals who reported a clear sense of purpose had lower rates of disability, depression, cognitive decline, and even mortality. In other words, purpose protects the mind, the body, and the will to live. The key is, it must make you feel useful, needed, connected. That sense of inner direction is what separates those who thrive into their later years from those who quietly surrender. It fuels motivation, sharpens mental clarity, and reduces the likelihood of slipping into passive habits that can lead to physical and emotional decline. The science behind this is powerful. Purpose-driven seniors show higher levels of dopamine, the chemical that motivates action and sharpens focus. They also exhibit lower levels of cortisol, the hormone associated with chronic stress and inflammation. That means better brain function, stronger immune response, and more emotional resilience. Want to begin cultivating this mindset? Each morning, ask yourself a version of the why question. Who will I encourage today? What small act of care can I offer? What memory can I share? What beauty will I notice? Then do one small thing, however simple, to fulfill that answer. Because aging independently isn't just about avoiding falls or staying organized. It's about knowing that your presence still matters, that your wisdom, your touch, your voice still ripple through someone else's world, that you're not just aging, you're still living, actively, fully, and on your own terms. You've made it this far, not just in this video, but in life. You've overcome loss, reinvented yourself, watched the world change around you while holding on to what matters. And maybe somewhere along the way you began to believe that independence fades with time, that strength, sharpness, confidence, they all have an expiration date, but they don't. What fades is habit. What weakens is connection, not to others, but to yourself. And the truth is, everything you need to reclaim that connection is already in your hands. A quiet light in the hallway, a whispered plan spoken out loud each morning, the way you sit, the water you sip, the oil you choose, the breath you take with both feet flat on the ground, the moments of silence that make space for clarity. the spoonful of sour that wakes your brain, the small shift from I can't to maybe I can. None of these life hacks are revolutionary, but they are reminders. Reminders that aging isn't a slow disappearance. It's a return to the body you've carried all these years, a return to the instincts you were born with, a return to the self that still wants to live fully, move freely, speak boldly. You are not fragile. You are not finished. Yes, the world will keep telling you to slow down, step aside, hand over the keys. But you know something now. There is power in the small things. And every time you choose one of these habits, you are choosing to stay present, alive, awake in your own skin. You don't need permission to keep living on your own terms. You just need a reason. And maybe you've found one.